Welcome back to another video. Sorry about last week, I did not publish a video because I was on vacation, but I'm back this week with a top-down chart analysis on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. I've not done this kind of video for quite some time, so here it is. Stay tuned. Whenever I do a top-down analysis, I always like to start off at a higher time frame. So I will be starting off in the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. So as you can see, it's definitely clear as day. It is in a downtrend. The very first thing you need to do when analyzing a chart is of course finding out what's the current trend in the macro environment. So obviously, a lower high, a lower low, definitely it means it is in a downtrend. And to top that off, it actually broke the previous support levels for Bitcoin at about 30k, and therefore this confirms it's a downtrend. I always talk about the 21 and 34 weekly EMA. For my rule, whenever Bitcoin trades below the 2 weekly EMAs, I would say the crypto environment will be very bearish. And why do I say that? It's because Bitcoin is the #1 crypto coin, and most other alts will follow Bitcoin. So whenever Bitcoin turns bearish, most alts will turn bearish as well. And when Bitcoin suffers, let's say 5% down or 10% down, alts will suffer even more. And that is why this is very important. And we always look at Bitcoin to determine how the crypto market goes. Okay, so now we have found out what is the current trend. What is next? The next step for my analysis would be marking out support lines and resistance lines. So I've already marked out long time ago already. All these yellow lines and all these blue lines are previous resistance and support levels, which are very important, and it has been touched a lot. And when I mean touched a lot, means there are many candles that are forming around that area. So this means that it's very important psychological levels, which is very important when you are trading as well. So let's not talk about all these levels above the 30k regions because I don't think we'll be there anytime soon. We'll look at the ones below, and as you can see, I've marked out a few. As you can see here, the last 7 to 8 weekly candles has been very bearish, and all the red candles are huge compared to the bullish ones. So obviously this shows that Bitcoin is really weak and there are no signs of bullishness at all. Before I zoom in to the daily time frame, I'll show you the levels that I marked out. So the areas I've marked out is the 23.8k region, which is pretty important, 22.7k, the 20k regions, obviously there's a very psychological level, the 19.3k regions, and lastly, a very important level which I think Bitcoin will hit to in the distant future is 16k. These are the levels which have been touched a lot by the candles, and these are the weekly closures and whatsoever. I think Bitcoin will hit over to these levels. Okay, moving on to the daily time frame. Okay, so we can see the chart a little better. So am I bullish or bearish right now? Actually, I'm still short-term bullish because it has not broken key support levels, and 21k is a very important level right now. It's the make or break situation where if Bitcoin doesn't reclaim 21k very soon, it is very bearish actually. What I'm looking at right now, as you can see, I have drawn a Fibonacci retracement tool already from this low to this high. It has gone up here and retraced all the way to the 0.618 levels, which is very golden levels. And so if Bitcoin can hold above this 20.5k level, short term I still think it's able to push up. If it breaks 21k, I'm even more bullish in the short term that it can push up all the way to the 22.5 to 22.7k regions. But if Bitcoin does not do that and remains below 21k the next few days, I will be looking for shorts. Okay, simply put, my longs, I'll label it in arrows. My longs will be at this anywhere from these regions around here to 22.7k. Let's say if you're in a long over here, it comes up all the way here. I would also pay close attention to whether the candle will break this previous high. If it does not, I would exit my position. Okay, so this is the only long I will take right now, and my stops will be just below these candles over here. So depending when this video comes out, just act accordingly, okay? And this is how I would see the chart. Other than that, the whole market is pretty bearish or overall in the weekly time frame, so I will be looking for more shorts. So right now, this is the only longs I will go for. The first level which I really want to short at is this level that I talked about. Why I want to short over here and why do I think this is the most high probable trade is because here is a very strong resistance point at about 22.7k. The candle were forming resistance over here a month back. The Fibonacci chart around the negative 0.27 is around that region as well. So that's two data points that coincides. And the third point is the 21 and 34 EMA, which is coming at about 23k regions, 22.8 regions. And so these three data points coincides together so well that, wow, if actually Bitcoin hits this area, I'm pretty sure it would drop from there. And that is a very good setup because this is the least risk you can take. By shorting over here, shorting at resistance, which is mostly very probable, and the whole market is still bearish. So this is a very good trade I see if Bitcoin actually hits this target. Okay, and let's say if Bitcoin really hits this target, I'll look for the candle closures to be below this level, and then I'll take the shorts. My stops will be just above these wicks over here at around 23.1k regions. That's the first short that I want to take if Bitcoin hits that target. Another region I want to take a shot at is confirm sales below 20k. This is a more safer short setup because Bitcoin falls below the 20k psychological level, which I mentioned a lot before. It breaks previous support levels, which is also a bearish sign. This is a much safer trade if you're going for shorts because it confirms the sell bias. These are the two main short regions I'm looking for. So if Bitcoin doesn't hit this area, I'll look for shorts below 20k for safe shorts. And what's my targets? My targets, as I said earlier in the video, is 16k regions. Why? Because remember on the weekly chart, I already drawn the support lines where previously in 2018, there were about a few weekly candles that are closing at around that region, the 16k region. And so this is the most high probable level that Bitcoin will hit to, even touched here back in 2020. And so yeah, that's my target. And also one very cool aspect is if I draw a fib from this level, okay, this candle to this low, what do you see? Bitcoin retraces, hits around the 0.786 retracement levels, and look at the target at the negative 0.27 extension. It coincides so well with the support psychological line at 16k regions. So wow, this looks almost so exact. And yeah, so this confirms my target for Bitcoin. That's about Bitcoin. Then that's how I see the charts. I'm talking very briefly about this Bitcoin chart. I don't want to go into so much detail about how the candles are forming, how small the candles are, how do I see if it's a reversal coming whatsoever, because the video will get too long. But if you guys are interested, do leave a comment down below if you want more let's say candle breakdowns, how do I see the charts clearer, etc. Okay, so that's all for Bitcoin. Let's move on to ETH. I'll briefly talk about it as well. Okay, weekly chart, very similar to Bitcoin. Alright, I won't talk much. Definitely very bearish because the last 3 months is all red candles, which is super bad. Moving on to daily chart, my short-term targets again, if Bitcoin bounces, ETH will follow as well. Currently ETH is on support levels at about 1,170, and so if Bitcoin bounce, ETH will bounce. I'll look for a breakout. So again, if I want to long, I would long right now this region all the way to the 1,400 regions, and my stops will be just below this candle forming over here. And when, let's say, Bitcoin breaks out, if breaks out, I want to see this happening, going up, testing resistance, testing support, and then go back up. Okay, if this does not happen, ETH and Bitcoin face the previous resistance levels at the local high, I would then look for sells at these regions right here. Over here, if Bitcoin does not break, I'll look for sells. My highest probable trade, if it breaks out, is over here, as mentioned, like Bitcoin, 1,430. So not much to talk about ETH because it really follows Bitcoin. Psychological levels again at 1,100 and 1,100, and lastly 1,000. So shorts again here, this region. If breaks below this support, and yeah, my targets will be around 700 to 800. Okay, similar to Bitcoin. Alright, quick analysis on Solana. On the weekly chart, super bearish. As you can see, it's fallen from it's fallen from the 260 levels all the way down to currently 37.8 levels. Super bearish because it's following Bitcoin, obviously. Okay, sorry. So for the weekly chart, I see Solana in the near future, it'll hit about the 19 to $20 regions. That is my most probable levels that I think Solana will hit during this cycle, and that is where I think the Solana bottom will be at. So right now, still holding my hands. So yeah, I'll be buying lots of Solana at the $20 regions. Okay, so moving on, daily chart, it has broken the last few weeks bearish trend line, but right now it has just hit its first resistance levels at this yellow line at about $42.5 regions. This was the previous high. And so right now, where do I think Solana is going? I think if Bitcoin is bullish short term, so let's say Bitcoin breaks above 21k again, I can see Solana running up again, breaking its previous high and going to the $48 regions. If market is really good and the rebound is super good this week, I can see it going all the way to $53.7 regions. But that is where I would be starting to look for shorts again, because overall markets are still bearish, as I said before. So short term, my shorts targets would be at the $48 regions first. This is my most probable setup, and if it breaks above $48, I'll be looking to short at $53.7 region. That's about it. I wouldn't really take any longs right now because it's pretty dangerous to long any alts right now. So I would just look at Bitcoin for longs, and I will look for sells for more confirmed targets. So again, my targets for Solana will be the $19 regions to the $22 regions. As I mentioned, these are the support lines that Solana has touched previously back in 2021, about 3 times over here. So these are my targets for Solana. Okay, so hope you guys like this video. If you guys like more of this kind of breakdowns and you would like more trading content on how do you actually read what kind of candles to look out for, which is bullish, which is bearish, and how do you see whether it's ranging whatsoever, do leave a comment down below to help me with the algorithm. I'm hoping to get my video to reach out to more people. So yeah, do help me out in this aspect. So take care. Remember, the markets are always here, but your capital may not. Peace. Oh, one more thing. Do join my Discord if you want quick updates on what I'm doing exactly, when I'm longing, when I'm shorting, when am I getting back into the market, am I buying this NFT, that NFT, you name it, I have it in my Discord. So do check it out. Alright, link in the description down below. Okay, ciao.